I feel like we're just basically going to have a little bit of tea time. Because it's Tuesday. A little bit of Tuesday tea time, darlings. Today's topic on tea time Tuesdays, is going to have to be, have you all seen, those of you on Twitter, those of you on social media actively, have you all seen this mahjong set? Hands, if you have. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know immediately, because these mahjong sets that are being sold for $425 by these awful white lady millennials who have taken it upon themselves to rebrand mahjong sets because, like, the art on them is, like, weird. And, like, mahjong is fun. So, like, the art should be fun. So, like, why isn't mahjong more fun? Why don't we just take mahjong's, like, why don't we just even call it, let's call it fun tiles. Yeah, like, no, mahjong, like, what is mahjong even? So, like, let's take this very Chinese game and remove literally all of the Chinese aspects from it. And then let's sell it for $425. Eat a dick. Sorry, I'm maybe that's a little too explicit of me. But, like, I just can't. That's what I have to say to you, Mackenzie, Michaela, and Sonoma, whoever you are, wearing your cute little caftans and mincing about with, I don't know, a culture as your fucking costume, while simultaneously trying to negate and, I don't know, erase it and its impact upon this game that you say you love so much. Ah! Ugh. Like, seriously. I don't know, like, how do these people, I don't know how these people exist, like, without ever getting a chance to take a hard look at themselves, going, is what I'm doing helping? I mean, obviously it's helping them, because $425? Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, we're having tea time. I'm spilling the tea. This is it's 2021. New year. Same kind of not giving a fuck, but just being a little more vocal and pointed about it, I think, is what we're doing on the tea time. I just find it really bizarre and infuriating. And then people being like, what do you mean? They're just, why are you gatekeeping? Or, like, why are you trying? And it's like, no, it's not. I don't know how else to say it other than it's not cool when you try and erase all of the things that make something unique and culturally sort of significant, as well as kind of mock the history and the artwork and the artistry that goes into why mahjong tiles are the way they are. I think the most frustrating thing is that the people who are making them, it'll be a really difficult road for them to try and actually come to terms with what they're doing and resolve what they're doing, because they're very clearly not interested. I don't actually have any tea right now because I'm a little warm, and so I needed a refreshing bit of lemonade. Mm-hmm. If I had some tea, I would mix it and I would make an Arnold Palmer, because Arnold Palmers are always great. And who doesn't love an Arnie Palmy? Arnie Palmies. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a thing where, like, if you're going to just catching up on the chat real quick, if you're going to make a product, you should probably do some research about what it is and sort of what the significance around it. Like, I don't know, I just feel like the tie, like, yeah. Anyways, that's the bit of tea for Tuesday that I just had to get into before we. I mean, oh, also, sorry, the other big tea for Tuesday, Jesus, is there's an election happening right now. Literally right now. I think it's over in Georgia. I mean, as far as like I think are people still in line? I don't know if that's still happening, but I know that results are coming in, is sort of my understanding. So that's pretty exciting. This is a Senate runoff, and for two seats that could sway the Senate towards the left slightly. Not even a lot. Like, I mean, a little bit in some ways, like technically, because it would be Democratic and not Republican. But like, let's not get our panties in a bunch as far as like, the Democrats aren't really that left, but yeah. Anyways, it would bring things away from the side of the Republicans who are directly responsible for not, if you're an American, not wanting to give you $2,000 and only wanting to give you $6,000. Like, they are solely responsible for that. I hope you know that. I also wish that you would look up what their houses look like. I think it might be really sobering. And I think it might make you angry that people that live in houses like that voted for you to not get $2,000. Just saying. I feel like we're like on like a cusp of like a wave. Like we're on the cusp. And we're gonna ride a wave of change and things. And that's me being hopeful. But we'll see. Also though, I want everyone to like sort of, I know a bunch of people were sharing articles about how hospitals in LA are like telling people not to bring people to like ambulances are being told, and like paramedics are being told not to bring people to the hospital. Yes, like it's horrifying, and yes, but I think that what should be understood is that oftentimes a lot of those cases will be like dead on arrival or patients that are expired. It's just a sort of partly the notice is a way for hospitals to communicate with paramedics to let them know that like, yeah, we're at capacity and we're only taking. It's not that they're not taking anyone at all. There's a lot of people spreading that article around, sort of being like, oh my god, it's monstrous in California right now. And it's also like, yes, on one hand it is, but I think it's just like these are communications that are happening from a hospital to staff in order to make things, to alleviate things as much as they can. If anyone who's watching is an essential worker, you're amazing. Thank you. It's really, really fantastic for people to be doing, just as long as we stay safe. I think essential workers don't get enough gratitude and actual support or help, because most of the time not a lot of them get hazard pay. There's all sorts of, I don't know, it's all complicated. There's also a bunch of people who are essential workers but not considered essential workers, because they're not like specifically grocery or healthcare or anything like that. It's oftentimes, I think, what happens a lot in America is that we're good at sort of like adding honorifics in the way that like, yeah, they're heroes, like all these everyday heroes, and it's like, yeah, cool, that's fine, but like maybe they should be getting some more money or something, because they are having to work during a time that's very uncertain and unsure for people, and they're at risk more because they're exposed to a greater amount of public. So maybe that should be taken into account. Who knows? Costco fizzy water. Goal this year, we're gonna try and get a sponsorship. We're really vying for some of those luxury brands, Buc-ee's primarily. I know Game Grumps have a corner done on Wendy's, so maybe can we do Popeyes? Popeyes, are you into streamers? Actors? I don't know. Like, Popeyes doesn't need any more marketing because their chicken sandwich is fire. So they don't need anymore. What else? What would we? What I'm trying to think of, like, what would we vie for as far as like if we were gonna go for a sponsorship, some sort of fizzy water, soda. Oh, I was saying during the meeting, we had a meeting. I was like, so if we could get, if we should aim sky high, aim for a SodaStream sponsorship. Hey SodaStream, how you doing? You know how I like the fizzy waters. Yeah, that's right. You know how we like those fizzy waters. Perrier, if we try and go classy, let's get fancy up in here. Ooh, or we try and get a little Italian with the San Pellegrino, like Mario, Norio, Norio, hey Norio, San Pellegrino, come on. Uncle Roger has that MSG sponsorship. Like, that's pretty wild. That's some next level stuff. Oh, 소주 sponsorship. 소주. 한잔 할까요? 한잔 하세요. 한잔 할까요? 저랑 같이 소주 한잔 할까요? 예. 차. 맛있습니다. 차. 깔끔합니다. 차. So clean. Sorry. That's those are all of my soju commercial takes. You're welcome. Best soju. Yes. 한잔 할까요? Just catching up really quickly on media that we've been consuming. I know I already recommended Great Pottery Throwdown. Please get into it if you need some wholesome art in your life. And then we've completely binged all of Alice in Wonderland, and we've completely binged all of Sweet Home. If y'all have Netflix, if y'all have seen either of them, I think they're excellent. I really enjoy them. They're both very different. They're both very stylized. They're both wild, I think, stories and wild ways of telling stories. So, yeah, I've been enjoying it a lot. Everyone should watch Minari if they get a chance. That's all I'm going to say. Everyone should watch Minari. Because it's, yeah, just give it a watch. We can talk about, like, classic K-drama, like Moreshige. Have you watched Moreshige? If you haven't watched Moreshige, you can't talk to me about Korean drama. Sorry. Man, Moreshige, like, when I was a little kid, like, it like did something to me in a weird way where I was just like, why am I getting so emotional about these people having such complicated lives? And I was like 9. Wow. Lots of things continue to happen very quickly. I think one of the things that I always kind of take for granted right now, sort of living in these wild, like, super, like, I guess politically charged times, is that, like, I guess we are sort of living through, and to not to sound like weird about it, but like history, like this is kind of, it's lots of changes and trials and tribulations that we are experiencing, but I think that we will, persevere. I'm so glad to see you all here. I'm so glad everyone's in chat. Hi everyone. I don't know, like, happy Tuesday. See you this Tuesday. That's right. Not see you next Tuesday. See you this Tuesday. See you this Tuesday. See you right now, Tuesday. What are your wins? What are y'all's wins this week? Like, last week so far, since I last got to hang out with you. Like, what's been going on in everyone's lives? I think that one of the things that I'm continually aware of, especially during these unprecedented times, God, I fucking hate that phrase. But, during these times, I feel like there's a lot of, like, doom and gloom and just, I don't know, just a lot of awfulness sort of coming at you from every direction, like up out of your phone, from, like, windows and side streets and, you know, through doorways and around the corner and everywhere. It's just like, hey, you want to find out a more depressing fact about the last one that you just read? Oh, hey, remember that last horrifying article that you read about, like, how terrible things are? Here's one that's going to make that one seem like a children's story. Like... Also, like, can we just talk about the really weird Goku thing that's happening with my hair right now? Sometimes it happens, but right now I'm even more conscious of it, just the way that it's like... I mean, last week's pressing event was the awkward and unfortunate attempted coup that happened at the our Capitol building. It's been a week since we've done that, and finally, we're moving to impeach Trump a second time. And now, I feel like some people have been, and hopefully, you know, maybe there are people out there who are talking about, like, oh, why do we do that? Is it really necessary? It seems like blah. But, like, people, we need to do it. If we do it, America, it just means that we don't have to deal with Trump. One, just... I don't know, making the office of the president kind of a joke. Which, again, whatever, like, my actual thoughts on geopolitics aside, like, the figurehead and the concept and the idea of the president, and when children sort of go, I wish I'd be president. Like, I think there's an innocent, beautiful thing in that they believe it to be a leader of people sort of fighting for the best of the world, because I feel like that's sort of what it used to sort of have this sort of connotation around. Also, this means that he doesn't get a Secret Service detail in the magnitude that he would. It also means that it would just be a kind of delicious humiliation in the fact that he would then be the first and only president who's been impeached twice. We stop him from fleecing America because or continuing to fleece America because that's what he's done. And the amount of money that the American people save by impeaching Trump again, like, I wish we could set it aside so that it could go to the communities that have been directly affected by his being in power. Like, that's what it should do. One of my favorite things that's been happening over the last couple of days is people who have never, ever had to be accountable or take responsibility for their actions are now, literally, for the first time in their goddamn lives, having to experience what consequences are like. Oh my god, I didn't get fired. Oh my god, I'm getting put on a no-fly list. I don't know if anyone's seen that video, but there is this horrifying, like, hilarious, horrifying video of this man getting arrested in an airport because obviously he's trying to fly, but he's on a no-fly list, and he literally yells out, "Why are you treating me like a black person?" And it's like, oh, it's just out there. Like, oh, they stormed the Capitol, it's totally okay now. And it's a little sad as well because these people still are like, why is this happening to me? This is oppression. And it's like, bitch, those are consequences. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you couldn't handle actual oppression, sweetie. Oh, sweaty. Can we talk about the fall of Parlor? God, what a glorious, what a hilarious, like what a way to go out. 54 terabytes. 54 archivable terabytes. It's really funny because I think at some point people were really worried that these white supremacists were like possible, like really, really like intense hackers that have like big organization networks spread across the world because they can enact their like the downfall of Parler is just so, I don't know, like just hilarious. And so like people had to put up their entire, like people had to put up photographs of their IDs. People gave their like social security numbers to like be verified Parlor members. Like, is it terrible that I'm just like, you deserve everything coming to you, honeys. So yeah, it's been 2 weeks since we've started this year, and now it's, Jesus, it is something, isn't it? I can't imagine what it's like for people who do like news recap channels or like news YouTubes, like just the sheer amount of shit that is happening at a breakneck speed right now. Nutter butters are so good, you guys. Peanut butter cook, like I feel like there's a thing. I don't know when they decided, the International Consortium of Cookies decided that the peanut butter cookie shall only be texturized by a fork. And you've got to do the thing where you press into it and give it the lines one way, and then you have to crisscross them the other way, but that's it. You can have them go one way, you can have them go the other way, you can have a crisscross pattern, but that's it. Got that? Like, and everyone was like, okay. All gathered. Hello, welcome. I'm wearing my really cute Totoro sweater. I don't know if you can see. Boop boo doo, boop boo doo. Boop boo doo, boop boo doo. This has kind of become my hanging out. It's a jumper. It's my hanging out jumper. It's my hanging out at home jumper. So pretty much for anything where I'm just like, oh yeah, what do I have to do today? I don't have to leave the house. Well, time for the Totoro jumper. It's been a week. We are on the cusp of an inauguration. I'm going to have some tea, and I just want everyone to look at my tea mug. And everyone just needs to take this advice to heart. It's supposed to say 2007, but I believe it fell off in the wash. If Brittany can survive 2007, you can survive today. If Brittany can survive 200 AD, then you too can survive today. Or 200 BC. Or wait, isn't there a new one? I feel like there should be a new one. Don't you think? I feel like there should be like one that starts from like the birth of the internet. Let's make our own timelines. Come with me. Pre and post internet would probably be somewhere that I would be like, that could do something. AI after internet. Yeah, Corona pandemic works as well. I feel like if there's ever like if we ever make contact, if we're ever able to make contact with another species. I feel like that would be a hallmark. So we are literally having tea. It's tea. It is a nice. Oh, hold on. Spicy chai. Spicy chai. Look, Totoro wants some tea. Oh, Totoro. Would you like some tea, Totoro? Oh. This chai is exactly what I need. Also, one thing for everyone to know. I haven't had any caffeine today, which is a rarity. And so this tiny bit of chai is the wee bit of caffeine that I've had in my day today, which is quite wild to think about. But with this chai, because it's a really nice spicy, like citrusy chai, a rum would probably go really nicely. A whiskey would be fine too, but then I'd want to turn it to. If it was a whiskey, then I just want to turn it into a hot toddy. All right. Oh, this is doing wonders. Like the tiniest bit of caffeine that I'm gleaning from this mostly citrus and spicy black tea is just like giving me that like tiny, just enough to keep me from getting a rollicking migraine right now. I mean, also it's kind of funny because chai is the word for tea in Indian. Punjab, Hindi? Sorry. Anyways, chai is the word for tea. So when people say chai tea, I kind of laugh. But also cha is the word for tea. Did you know that there's an actual like linguistic, like cultural division in society, like the development of civilization, based off of the countries that called hot, dirty water cha, or variations of cha, and te, and variations of te. Did you know that? Hot leaf juice. Man, I do love that hot leaf juice, though. It's true. Zuko is those are some true words from Zuko. Man, but honestly, like I would love, like Uncle Iroh's tea shop. I wish I could go to a fictional place that does no longer exist. Yes. Okay, so the very first time I'd ever heard Mako in anything was when so my high school, for those of you, I went to this weird high school where we did lots of musical theater. We were doing Pacific Overtures, which is bizarre to think about, that a high school with 2.5 Asian people decided to do a production of Pacific Overtures. That summer after freshman year of high school, when we found out what the next year's musical was going to be, I listened the shit out of that soundtrack. If you ever hear the original cast recording for Pacific Overtures, it's the music is styled sort of after. It's like an amalgam of, it's like American musical theater, like Sondheim, obviously, and then trying to like blend it with kabuki and no inspired sort of instrumentation and things like that. So, anyways, it's a lot of really intense, very, very amazing. Yeah, it's a really, really interesting musical. It starts off with Mako just going Nippon, the floating kingdom, and he does this whole intro to it. But I listened to that soundtrack so much that basically, for I think hours and hours, all I did was listen and imitate Mako for way too much time. I love Mako very much, and so when I found out that he played Uncle Iroh, or that he was playing Uncle Iroh, it like blew my tiny little mind. I feel like this tea has been definitely recharging. I'm glad that I'm having tea while we're spilling tea. Hi, welcome to Tuesday Tea Time. Today is pretty cold. I don't know if it's in Southern California. It's cold right now, which is pretty wild. I mean, it's January. But yesterday, in my neck of the woods, it hailed. And the hails weren't like, you know how when it hails and you get like those like teensy tiny, like they look like fertilizer. They look like those little fertilizer pellets. Like that's how like tiny it is. These were like not that big, but like maybe like yeah, probably around like that size. Like, you know, dime nickel size. Yeah, I'd say like the nickel to quarter size little guys. But they were, you know, they're kind of like weirdly soft, but they were definite hailstones that came down. So I've got a tea. I've got a lovely I believe it's a black chai again. I'm living that chai life. Living that chai life. I've added a bit of lemon. A little squizzle of lemon. And then there's a bit of honey in here as well. But yeah, it's kind of exactly what I needed. Not to be a total downer, but one of the really grim facts that's recently occurred is that Los Angeles County, because there's not enough room and there are too many bodies, the daily limit of how many bodies that can be cremated to not affect the environment, which is 2,700. Who knew? I didn't know that, but there you go. That's the number they gave us. They're now allowed, and they have to, cremate more than that daily. So that's a horrifying and, like, just heart-rending statistic and fact that has become, you know, a part of our lives. If you're in LA, please be careful. If you're in California in general, I know that, they've relaxed the restrictions and you can go, you know, and these are for certain counties up north that are, you know, largely rural and don't have that many people. But let's stay safe. Let's stay home. Let's wear masks. Let's wear extra masks. On some happier news, the DICE Award nominations have come out. And those are the I don't know, they're like the Academy Awards for games, I guess. I don't know. But Ghost of Tsushima has 10 nominations. So congratulations to Ghost of Tsushima, and the team at Sucker Punch, and Sony, and all of the and literally everyone that's involved with the game. Because, I don't know, I feel like that's a super exciting achievement. The game succeeding can only just, you know, be good for everyone. I'm convinced. The world benefits when Ghost of Tsushima does well. I'm just saying. They tried to block the impeachment trial, and it didn't work, which is super great. News of the day, news of the world. I don't know. It's all exciting. I'm just gonna say this once for the purposes of having said it on my stream while I have a, you know, captive audience of you all. But for the political pundits in America currently calling for unity, my statement, which is, I've said it I think multiple times, is that unity can't happen without accountability and justice. Thank you. That's my statement. To change up the subject slightly again, you know, we're doing all sorts of things. We're just fucking. Yes, we're changing it up. I don't know if anyone's seen in your little channel points thing, but I've done a thing. But I've added a way for you all to use the channel points because we don't use them ever or do anything with them, and largely we kind of ignore. Like we're like, I don't know, it's a thing that people get. It's money. Is it money? Dice and I were having this conversation. Like, what does this even have? And thank God our moderators and Mornelli are just like, no, just trying to explain this. Where we were just like, I don't understand. Why? What channel point? Who point where? Spend how? Anyway, so we've added a ridiculous channel point expenditure just in case, you know, they're sitting there and you just want to use them. I don't even know how many channel points people have. I just picked a random big number because I thought it would be funny. Now I'm kind of waiting for that stream, like a couple weeks from now, when everyone's got their 50,000. And it's literally just like every 10 minutes someone's like, Earl, I'd like it to be blurple, please. Earl, we need Freel. Could we have some orange? Maybe some yellow. I'm excited for when that happens. So, keep an eye out. Maybe I'll change the price of it. I'm sorry that it's currently out of everyone's price point. Now I feel like the man. Now I just feel bad. Now I feel mean. I should have lowered it. I don't mean to do this to you all. I was just sort of like, I guess everyone. I just assumed everyone had 1 million points. I don't know how the points work. As a part of Tuesday tea time, we need to have a snack. And so I've brought the marmalade. Oh yes, look at this. It's a kumquat marmalade. Kumquat marmalade. Look at this lovely piece of toast. I feel like this piece of toast is looks like a fake piece of toast. Like it's like a picture of a piece of toast that I printed out on some paper, and I'm like, oh, look at this piece of toast. But I swear, I guarantee you, it's. So I've been thinking, do I start a preservery? Is that what they call? Is that what it's called? A jam making establishment. Would you call that a preservery? I kind of like the idea of calling it a preservery. I've just been having this wild dream of wrangling Theo and his wife, and starting a business utilizing the kumquat tree, where I just produce marmalades and jams. Okay. I know I made it, so I guess it's kind of like what, but it's so good. I've been told that I need to remind people and say this, but if you do have an Amazon Prime membership, please know that you can throw me a sub. You get free subscriptions to your Prime memberships. So I'll take them. What if there is a secret black market homegrown produce trade, and maybe that's how all the doomsday preppers and all the people that have working biodomes underneath the ground in their bunker layers. Maybe that's how they pick up a little bit of profit and allow themselves to get more canning goods by sharing the bounties of their harvests. Although I feel like there could be, if we're way in the future, super future, where organic material becomes very difficult to come by, you could have a black market kumquat dealer in a future space world. I got some fresh kumquats, but you're gonna have to pay. They are not citruses. I do know that. They're not a citrus fruit. They are, what is it? They were previously classified as forming the now historical genus Fortunella. But now I guess it is a citrus now. They were outcasts. The kumquat was an outcast of the citrus family, and then now they've been brought back into the fold. Interesting. Oh, hello, camera. I'm forcing it to focus on me. I cannot think of a single sandwich that exists in my brain where it would not benefit from at least a slight toasting. Right? Am I crazy? Am I completely off kilter here? And we're not talking about like, always toasting to the full Yeah. Yeah. I think PB&J would be, I think a lovely toasted PB&J. Oh. You don't toast egg salad sandwiches. Oh. Yeah, I think maybe like, I don't know, I'd try it. But yeah, there's something, maybe it's like a textural thing. But okay, okay, here's, I'm gonna throw a spanner in the works. I will say, at a Subway, however, I will not get my sandwich toasted. I don't know why. I think it's because I think the whole sandwich toasting thing is weird. Also, I think technically their bread is no longer considered bread. It's cake. Didn't that happen in Ireland? I feel like that happened in Ireland. They like had a lawsuit because their bread wasn't, it had such a high sugar content. Like it didn't have like vitamin, the way that the bread, bread is supposed to have. It's classified as a confection. When I was living in Australia, there was a Subway that was within walking distance from the house that I lived in. There were some days where I would be really, really homesick. Like, and just not like for a specific place, but like for America in general. And it sounds really weird because, I don't know, I'm not a very particular like patriot. America, these colors do not run like America person. But, in Australia, I love it. But there's certain communication things and sort of cultural things that like oftentimes being North American and being sort of American in general, like everything feels so similar. Like culturally, like commercially, like brands and things look familiar, but not. Like it can be a really disorienting experience. I would have sort of these moments where like I'd have a shitty day at work or like something would happen and I'd just be like really upset. And I would just walk myself to the Subway and order a spicy Italian BMT and get a bag of Sun Chips. And I would sit in the Subway that smelled like all of the Subways that I'd ever been to, just sort of all like exist in the Subway that you're currently in. I don't know if that makes sense. It used to be like a place where I would just go and just be like, at least I'm normal in here. Only you understand Italian BMT. Thank God you're spicy. Oh, also, hold up. Here's a whole nother can of worms that recently erupted in mine own home. Are people, when you put jam on toast, do you butter the jam first, or do you not butter the jam? Or butter the toast? Do you not butter the toast first? I've learned that it is a thing, apparently, to butter the toast and then put jam on it. I didn't realize that was a thing. Because I've always, and you just saw, taken toast and then put jam just on the toast. I know, it seems so weird. It's actually delightful. I had no idea. I did not come from a buttery household. I don't know, the extra layer of butter, it feels like this weird way, like it's like you're tricking your mind into thinking like, this isn't toast.